out of the box or out of the wall, whatever you want to call it, we have. Dang it, I keep missing it! Anyway, The Nun. So you know why I'm watching this, because The Nun 2 comes out today or tomorrow or whenever you're going to watch this. Maybe it's too late in the past. But anyway, have I seen this movie before? Yes, but not in 4K. I thought it was an okay movie, nothing fancy schmancy, but let's rewatch The Nun and see if the fancy schmancies are still there. What am I saying? Chase Weehawkey here with the Blue Futon reviewing The Nun. So it's about pretty simple premise. Do you remember The Conjuring? I believe it's a 2. You remember that nun in the hallway that was like, well, this is the origin story, or is it? Anyway, we're going back to like the 1950s in Romania, and we're figuring out the origins of the nun. So, like this film, I thought it was a film for being. It was an hour and a half movie. Okay, that's fine. But it felt super rushed, in the origin story itself really didn't feel organized. It was more of like, hey, there's a crack in the ground, something comes up, and that is the nun. You're just like, really, that's it? That's it? But I feel like it's going to expand more in the second one, because the second trailer says the true origin of the nun. So you're like, then why make the Nun 1 if you're not going to show the true origin? But let's talk about the positives of this movie. I think for being an hour and a half, it's pretty good paced. Even though, like I said, it's literally like scene, and there's not a lot of breathing room, and the story is very minimal. So maybe that's why the pacing is pretty good. But we're going to say the pacing is pretty good, even though the movie itself isn't that good. But let's talk about the 4K quality. It does do justice to this movie. The darks come out, and this is a very dark movie. But luckily with 4K quality, you can easily tell what is going on the screen. So it's like, okay, if you're going to watch this, I think 4K is the best way to do it, so you actually witness everything on screen. And there are a couple, like, decent jump scares and decent kills, if you want to put it that way. Like, oh, shit. I mean, with these Conjuring universe movies that really just are for the terror, don't expect a lot of gore, don't expect a lot of violence, just expect a lot of oh, shit moments. And I think this movie kind of does it, especially when we're following the main character. 1 second, please. Taissa Farmiga. I'm pretty sure I'm saying her first name wrong, and I'm completely sorry. But when we're following her around, it is kind of interesting of what she's going through and what she has seen. They have a side, story when it comes to her visions, and that is kind of thrown away because it's like she does it twice, and they don't really explain it. All you know is she has dreams, and that's about it. And then the priest character, his name, Demián Bichir, saying that probably wrong again as well, but his backstory is more of an exorcist that's gone wrong, and it's kind of haunting him, and he doesn't know if it was a real exorcist or more if he was prematuring exorcising this boy that was probably more mentally sick with a snake kind of thing. And there's a Frenchie character, which I think that's what they do best with this movie, is connect it with Conjuring 1. Yes, connect it with Conjuring 1 with the Frenchie character and then the main mother of the first one. So what they did there, connecting it, really was smart overall. But the movie itself, it felt rushed. It felt just almost unneeded to some levels. When you have this nun character and you're trying to do a backstory for it, and we're not really focused on the nun, we're focused on this priest and his, trauma, if you want to put it that way, of an exorcist, and this girl who hasn't been a nun yet, but sees these visions. And then we have like the nun that's almost like a side character in this movie. And I think that's what is the real fault of this movie. The nun is there, and some of the side nuns are there, but just the overall, when you're calling the movie The Nun, you need to focus on the nun, and you don't focus on the nun whatsoever. And I think that's the biggest fault of the movie. It is a quick, like I said, 90-minute movie, but you're not giving a lot of origin story. You're not giving a lot of nun. You're giving a lot of these, other characters that are trying to figure out what is happening at this church in Romania, which is a fine story, but at least give me 15 more minutes of the movie to flesh out the nun, which we don't flesh her out. Fleshing the nun. Anyway, the nun will receive a 2 out of 5 with Futons. It was at 40%. Let's see what the critics' news scores gave this one. So you have critics say 24%. Oof. 209. Audience score 35%. Oof. Over 5,000. Here's critic consensus. The Nun boasts strong performances, spooky atmospheric, and a couple decent set pieces, but its sins include inconsistent logic and narrative slackness. I'm pretty sure it did pretty good in the box office, though. 117 million in the USA alone. That's pretty good. Anyway, 35, 23, 40. Chase Talk with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. All the things Futon told you. Futon, have a great day. Now, I can watch this today, tomorrow, week from now, month from now, year from now. I love every single one of you. And of course, I'm reloading this on a Thursday, which means this night I'm watching The Nun 2 and an Indian movie called Jarwan. It'll be a long Thursday night, but I'm so ready for it.